as we wait now for the lights to come on here in Japan at the Fuji Speedway. And the lights are out now. Senna on the front row together with Alain Prost as they head into turn 1 with Emerson Fittipaldi right behind, and Fittipaldi is gonna try and move up the inside, and there's a collision. There's a collision between Senna and Fittipaldi, but Fittipaldi does get through. And Senna now down into third place. As Fittipaldi inherits the lead there. I'm not sure whose fault that might have been. But Fittipaldi now fighting with Kazuyoshi Hoshino. And further back we have Alain Prost as well. Also not off to the best start with Roberto Moreno right behind him. And there's been a collision. I think, between Thierry Boutsen and Mika Hakkinen. Both seem to have damage, so they're gonna try and nurture their car to the pits. You can see Bernd Schneider missing a wing there, and try to check on Mika Hakkinen. Yes, he's also partially missing that front wing, so they'll both have to come in for repairs. Back towards the front though, Ayrton Senna has gotten back up into second place, and Fittipaldi now heads down the main straight up into turn 1 again. And surely Ayrton Senna will try and inherit the lead once again. Yes, he does, and there's a copycat move behind from Alain Prost on Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Heading into turn 1, Ayrton Senna makes the move stick. Let's see if Alain Prost can make it stick. Yes, he can, around the outside of Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Both Senna and Prost back somewhat to their respective positions. Prost is still needing to get into that second place. And Senna now being hounded by Emerson Fittipaldi. So Fittipaldi not giving up that easily. See now Thierry Boutsen and Mika Hakkinen have been pitting, so they would have changed their front wings, which is an unfortunate start to their race, but luckily it was only the two of them involved. Yeah, I don't think it seems like Emerson Fittipaldi isn't gonna give up that first place too easily. As we can now see Ayrton Senna in first, Emerson Fittipaldi right behind. Right behind that will be Alain Prost. And then a tiny little gap between them to Kazuyoshi Hoshino and Roberto Moreno for the top 5 positions. And now Alain Prost is looking for a move on Emerson Fittipaldi, but will he be able to pull it off? Because Fittipaldi is in a slipstream of Senna. And there comes Bernd Schneider out of the pits. Let's hope he doesn't interfere with anyone. But Prost does get through on Fittipaldi, so we're back to the starting positions with Senna in first and Prost in second. And it does seem now that Mika Hakkinen has retired out of the race. I'm not sure what the issue was, but Mika Hakkinen for Ligier has retired on lap 3 of the Fuji Grand Prix. I can see here Alain Prost also under attack from Emerson Fittipaldi. Meanwhile, that's allowing Senna to create a small gap. As they head up the Dunlop into 13th and then into Nets Corner. And after Nets Corner they go to Panasonic, which is the last corner on the track, and then they head on that long straightaway heading into first, because we're there now. See further back here, Chino, Andretti, Moreno, all fighting for those positions as Moreno goes for the move up Andretti's inside. And he makes it stick into the first corner. So now he's looking at Kazuyoshi Hoshino, as it does seem outside of the top 5. It's a very close affair here. Or for the top 5, I should say. Moreno looking around the outside of Hoshino, but can't quite manage. We also have the likes of Capelli, Matsumoto, Stefan Johansson. They're all battling for these positions. You can see that big train there. And let's see now, Moreno. Oh, collision between Moreno and Hoshino. Which will mean that Moreno has to evade, and now he drops back behind Matsumoto and Capelli into 7th place. So, unfortunate there for Moreno. But luckily no damage for either car. Now let's see what Mario Andretti can do on a straight. We all know that the Minardi has incredible straight line speed, so let's see what he can do here. Here he comes. He has the run with the slipstream as they go into turn 1, and that'll surely be quite an easy move for Andretti. Yes, Andretti up into 4th. Chino following him. Then will be Ivan Capelli. So Ivan Capelli doing a great job as well in 6th place here. With Roberto Moreno just behind. But yeah, Capelli has been trying to find his feet a little bit. And hasn't had the best few first races. But now in a solid P6 for the time being. And we have Stefan Johansson here in 9th. Oh, and Mario Andretti with a spin. Oh, and a big collision. A big collision between Mario Andretti and Stefan Johansson. So Mario Andretti initially spinning out, and then Stefan Johansson too late to spot him, I think. And both have damage now, so they have to come into the pits and repair their wings. Well, that's very unfortunate for the both of them, but all began with the mistake from Mario Andretti there. So that's going to be a big time loss. As we now see Nelson Piquet there heading up into 8th place, and then Moreno and Andretti both coming in. And now we have multiple fights here, I think. So we have the March of Eddie Cheever and Alan Sir Jr. fighting with each other. We also have Cherry Bootson in the mix there, who is obviously a back marker at this point. And then we have Teo Fabi here in 10th place for Ferrari. He is trying to get on the back of Bernd Schneider, and I must be said, Bernd Schneider is doing a great job. The German Formula 3 champion from 1987 has really gotten off to a good start here inside the top 10, which is a place we don't really see the Zach speeds that often. So he's definitely making the most of this opportunity he's gotten by Edison. Back towards the front here, we still have Ayrton Senna leading about 1 second ahead of Prost, and then another 1.5 seconds behind them is Emerson Fittipaldi. Obviously now the question for the likes of Mario Andretti and Stefan Johansson. We know their cars have pretty good pace, but the question is, can they make up all that lost time from having to do an extra pit stop? So we'll see in due course if that is the case. Senna now through that midsection, yeah, creating a little bit of space, so slowly edging out that lead, I'd say. Now we have Roberto Moreno still with Oshino behind him, so Moreno also very decent job for Arrows in 4th place. As, Oshino there with a little mistake, which allows Keiji Matsumoto to come through. Ooh, and defends on the inside, so Matsumoto still has some work to do with Capelli next to him now. I don't think Capelli is a match on the straight, definitely not with Slipstream for Matsumoto. So Matsumoto up into 5th place, and now an issue for Ayrton Senna. An electrical fault. So Lotus still having reliability woes as Senna gets overtaken by Prost now. And he will have to come in and try to resolve that issue. Which is a real shame once again, because obviously he had the pace for a 1st place here, but now it'll turn into another recovery drive for Ayrton Senna. Now you can see now Emerson Fittipaldi also on the back. He will move up the inside at Panasonic, or not Panasonic, sorry, that's 13th. And then heading into nets is Ayrton Senna. Will follow him into the pits as he now comes into Panasonic onto the straightaway, but you can see how much time he's losing. And it's definitely a couple of seconds a lap, so he'll pull off to the right here. Try to get that issue resolved as fast as possible. So hopefully that's the only issue then for Senna, and he can recover to a decent position as he comes into the box here. Lotus pit squad standing by. Fresh tires on, resolve that electrical issue. There he goes out again, 6.6 seconds. But let's see how far that drops him down. Pretty long pit lane here at Fuji, and he is out in 16th position. 17th actually, behind Jeff Brabham. So he's going to be a 35 odd seconds away from Alain Prost now. A real shame for Senna, as he once again was showing he had the pace for that podium and the win, possibly. But now on fresh tires, surely he'll make short work here of the likes of Jeff Brabham and Jeff Lees in the Williams. So let's see if he tries a move here. Yes, he does, up the inside of Jeff Brabham. Now he'll look close right up to Jeff Lees in this final sector. Senna's gonna have to do some hard charging if he wants to make up all that lost ground. Sorry for the camera there, because the automatic cameras aren't switching over, so I'm trying to get that resolved, but sometimes they just stop working, so I'll have to just cycle through the cars from now on, as we see René Arnoux here trying to hold back. That is Thierry Boutsen, I think, so Boutsen obviously lap, but he's rearing to get past these guys and try and, well, maybe not unlap himself, but at least try to get back closer to them. And Boutsen now is going to go up the inside, and he'll be looking to break himself free from the likes of Arnu. But not quite managing as for Arnu fights it, and Michael Andretti is there behind Thierry Boutsen, so he's going to be looking to get past and fight René Arnoux. And further up we have Eddie Cheever on the back of the Zach speed of Bernd Schneider. Again, Bernd doing a very good job here in 9th place. Let's see if Cheever gets enough of a slipstream. It doesn't seem like it, just a tad bit too far away. Yeah, the move not quite on there for Eddie Cheever. Meanwhile, Theo Fabi in 8th position. Oh, and an issue there for Ayrton Senna. So Ayrton Senna is out of the race. Unconfirmed what happened, but must have suffered from that electrical issue more. Yeah, there must have been another issue for Ayrton Senna. Maybe they didn't get that electrical issue resolved all the way, and apparently now he's out of the Grand Prix, so very unfortunate. Pelli still in 6th place, Keiji Matsumoto in 5th, Oshino in 4th, Moreno in 3rd, so very good position here for Moreno. Let's hope he can hold on to that. And in the meanwhile, of course, Emerson Fittipaldi now has been doing a good job, 6 or so seconds behind Prost, but with Ayrton Senna dropping out, he's on course here to score some good points for Ferrari. And then at the front, we still have Alain Prost heading down the straightaway. Obviously, was being heavily contested by Ayrton Senna. But with Senna now out of the way, surely Prost will just have to manage this race. And he has a tremendous chance of winning here. But let's see, further back again, I think still somewhat of a fight. Maybe it fizzled out a bit though. There was a fight going on between Bernd Schneider and Eddie Cheever. Now you can see here Al Unser Jr., René Arnoux and Michael Andretti all fighting for the same positions, as Arnoux is going to try to move up the inside of Unser Jr. and he actually gets ahead before turn 1, so Arnoux up into 11th. And they'll all be looking to get onto the back of Emerson Fittipaldi. As we still see Johansson and Andretti trying to fight their way back up the grid, but it's a tough ask. Let's see here, will Unser Jr. try something? No. He won't try anything into Dunlop. They now head up the hill again. Another new face we have as well racing today here is Johnny Herbert. He was the British Formula 3 champion last year. And he's gotten a drive for today. Apparently there was an issue because Nigel Mansell obviously isn't racing, and reports are that there's some issue with Nigel Mansell's new video game that's being developed called Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix, and apparently it was such a pressing matter that he had to take the race off and let Herbert take over for him. So sure we'll hear more about that in the future, but in the meanwhile it has given a wonderful opportunity to the young Herbert here today. Not in the best of positions at the moment with Cheever in 10th and Herbert in 14th, but he's not that far behind his teammates, so in the same machinery that looks pretty promising for a young prospect like Johnny. Meanwhile, now we have Andretti, who's trying to get past Jeff Brabham. Now, as we get on the straightaway, surely he'll do so, with the Williams being severely underpowered on the straights. He'll be able to get into the slipstream, but even then it's going to be hard for the Williams to fight it, I think. Oh, it does get some good overspeed. I think the minority should be able to hold on to that. Oh, Jeff Brabham is actually going to fight with Andretti here. A bit of a surprise, but, you know, Jeff wants the race as well, as he now defends from Andretti. Andretti is trying to make up time after the collision early on. Obviously, this will be frustrating for him. He's desperately trying to get past. Now he does get past as they head up into Dunlop. So Mario Andretti passed, and now he should be able to pull away. Create some distance, and then he's on the hunt towards Jeff Lees. Meanwhile, we have Jeff Lees here trying to challenge Thierry Boutsen, so Thierry Boutsen unlapped himself. And now Lees was trying to get past, but oh no, Thierry Boutsen is gonna fight that. He believes he's faster than Jeff Lees. And meanwhile, we have a bit of an inter-team squabble going on between Michael Andretti and Al Unser Jr. So I'm not sure what the point of this is, but these guys have been going at it back and forth from the Tyrrell squad. A bit desperate, it seems, to prove themselves to the team boss Domi, perhaps. And I'm not sure Domi will be that pleased with seeing these guys fight so close together as they are. Now Johnny Herbert is onto the back of them, so with that squabbling, they have lost some time, and that allowed Johnny Herbert to catch up now. Meanwhile, we still have Bernd Schneider for Zach Speed in 9th place, doing a very decent job. He's managed to gap Eddie Cheever behind him a little bit, and is now running fairly comfortable on his own. I don't think, as I get a mail from work there, but I've actually turned those notifications off in Windows and they still pop up, so you know, pisses me off. But anyway, so Bernd Schneider, I don't think he has the pace here to catch up to the likes of Theo Fabi and Nelson Piquet in front. I don't think the Zach Speed is quite fast enough to achieve that. But yeah, nevertheless a very solid job for Schneider. And meanwhile we have Fabi, I think, trying to catch up to Piquet, which seems like a bit of a tough proposition at the moment, as he's about 3 or so seconds away. Let's see in the splits update. So okay, so now he's 2.5 or so seconds away. So maybe we'll see something happening on that front soon. In the meanwhile, we have Roberto Moreno, who's gotten his pit call. So Moreno running a bit of a lower fuel load, I suppose. And he's gonna come in for his first pit stop of the day. Obviously, it's 67 laps here around Fuji Speedway, so quite a long Grand Prix, and I suspect we'll see most of the grid doing 2 stops. It would only make sense. And Moreno now coming in. Let's follow him in and just see and try and get a reference of how long a pit stop is gonna take here at Fuji. Comes into the box, the pit crew is standing by. Get those fresh tires on and then wait for the fuel to fill up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seconds. 13.1 for Roberto Moreno, and let's see now where he comes out. But if all is well, he could pull off a bit of an undercut. I don't think it'll be enough to catch up to Emerson Fittipaldi, but he might be able to create a little bit of distance of the cars that were behind him on that fresh set of tires. As meanwhile now we have a loose wheel. Loose wheel for Ivan Capelli, so if he can get back, that would be good for him. As he is inside the pit window for the first pit stop, so it would be a minimal time loss as compared to having to do an extra pit stop. Let's see if he can actually manage to get to the pits. Oh, he's going very slow. That might be a retirement. Yes, it is. So Ivan Capelli won't make it back to the pits and will unfortunately have to retire for McLaren. What unfortunately looked like Capelli did have the pace to finish inside the points here today. And yeah, so the marshals will get his car out of the way, and unfortunately that is the end of the Fuji Grand Prix for Ivan Capelli. Now we have more cars coming in. We have Nelson Piquet. We also have pit calls for several people. Bernd Schneider, Keiji Matsumoto, Emerson Fittipaldi. They are all waiting to, or they're supposed to come into the pits here soon. Piquet comes out now. Johnny Herbert is into the pits. And let's see now how a lot of this is going to play out for Moreno, as he's on the fast and fresh tires. As it does seem the likes of Prost, Matsumoto, and Fabi are electing to stay out a bit longer. Eddie Cheever as well, Michael Andretti. So they'll just be waiting a little longer here for their first pit stop. Oh, and there's an issue, brake issue for Theo Fabi, but luckily he's just gotten... I think he got the issue just before the pit, so it'll be a slightly delayed pit stop, I think, since the crew wasn't ready for him. Came in a bit earlier than expected, but he does get the issue resolved. And looking at that pit stop time, 9 seconds, I can only assume he didn't take too much fuel for his second stint here, so probably a short stint for Theo Fabi. As that is now Stefan Johansson coming through. Stefan Johansson also in that recovery race after some early damage. We'll see how that works out as Unser Jr. and Jeff Lees have now made their pits. And Moreno is still gonna be in third position, obviously, when these pits come in, I think. Also, take a look at the fastest times here throughout the session. So Senna obviously did the fastest lap at the start of the race, and then you have Andretti with a quick lap, who's also now out of the race. Emerson Fittipaldi, Moreno, Hoshino, Nakajima. That's so interesting there, and let's take a look at the last lap times. Alain Prost still absolutely flying with a 28.5 last lap, so that is even faster than Moreno is now on the fresh set of tires. So yeah. Oh, and big issue now for the one of the rookies here, Johnny Herbert. That is smoke coming out of the back of that March car. And maybe he'll try to limp it back to the pits, but I'm not sure if the car will even be recoverable. My guess is no. Yeah, he just keeps going past the pits. I'm sure he won't be able to carry on much longer, but that's unfortunate for the rookie, as there's an engine fire now. And surely he has to pull off here somewhere. He should be aware by now that the engine is fully on fire. But he's determined to keep going, I think, Johnny Herbert. He doesn't want to give up this drive. There it is. So there finally is the cut of the engine, and let's hope now Herbert can actually get out of the car. Pretty fast. So yeah, there we go. He's out of the car now. The marshals are gonna try and put out the fire and clear up the car. But unfortunate for Johnny Herbert, as he's out of the Fuji Grand Prix, and now an issue as well for Kazuyoshi Hoshino, throttle issue. So he just came in for his pit stop, and now he's having an issue with the throttle. You hear the pit crew now calling for him to get back into the pits. But it's still a pretty long way here for Hoshino, so that'll be a quite a significant time loss for him throughout the race here. You can see now Keiji Matsumoto is getting onto the back of Hoshino here. I can really see how gingerly Hoshino is going through these corners and approaching them. And he just has to manage that issue up until he gets into the pits. And he pulls in now as Matsumoto speeds past. He will have to come in, but he'll lose quite a bit of positions here. He might be down even to the likes of Bernd Schneider in 9th, so 8th or 9th I think for Hoshino, possibly. So yeah, here comes Schneider, he'll definitely get past, and then Eddie Cheever as well, even perhaps. Let's see here. Yeah, he's still not out. Let's see how close Rene Arnoux is. Even Rene Arnoux is getting past Hoshino. So yeah, it'll have to be a recovery drive here for Hoshino today. So that's unfortunate, was running in a really good position there, but he will have to try and fight his way back up the field, as there's a fight there between Mario Andretti and Michael Andretti. So the two brothers going at it, Andretti brothers, and Mario, obviously with that issue at the start, is still trying to recover his race, but it's a tricky one. Yeah, Minardi, obviously, as we know, a lot of difference on the straight with most of these cars, but through the corners, it is not the most nimble. But Andretti doing his best to try and fight his way back up the order. As he'll now look to catch up to Hoshino and Arnoux in front. Does seem to be doing. Let's see here, Johansson now fighting with Nelson Piquet, I believe. Piquet now in 6th with Johansson behind him. Fighting for the points here, the last point paying position. And now, let's see. As we head onto the straightaway, let's see if Johansson can do something. As we all know that Benetton struggles on the straightaway, and you can see it. Losing a lot of time compared to Johansson. PK is. Not enough. And there we go as well. So Johansson does get a pit call now, so I do believe he has to make one extra stop this race. He obviously had that issue as well at the start, and he obviously can't get enough fuel to last him until the end. Obviously with that long straightaway here at Fuji, and well, quite a bit of the lap being quite fast, you're burning a lot of fuel, and these cars do have to make an extra pit stop then. So Johansson will drop back down the order a little bit. He'll end up in that whole big mosh pit, I think, of between 8th place and 13th place, somewhere in there. You can now see Eddie Cheever in 8th place, with Bernd Schneider right behind. And then we have Kazuyoshi Hoshino, who is trying to recover. from that throttle issue. We now see Johansson dropping back through the pack, down into 13th now, as he's still heading outside, out of the pits. So let's see if Unser Jr. gets past him. Yes, he does. There comes Johansson, then comes Jeff Lees and Jeff Brabham. Unfortunately, those the Williams boys just not having a great time, as they're really lacking some pace compared to the rest of the field. Now Alain Prost still in front, 20 or so seconds in front of Emerson Fittipaldi, and Hoshino now still on the back of Bernd Schneider. And meanwhile, Emerson Fittipaldi just managing in second place. Doesn't need to push too hard. He has a big gap, almost 8 seconds between him and Moreno. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but let's try to see here as Hoshino is gonna try to move here on Bernd Schneider. And I think he will pull it off unless Schneider can fight back here, but I don't think that's the case. So Hoshino back up into 8th. And in the meanwhile, we do see Mario Andretti also trying to fight his way back up, as he's now in 10th. And he'll be looking to challenge Bernd Schneider here very soon. And he goes around the outside, so a great move by Mario Andretti, dispatching of the German Bernd very quickly and with ease there. He surely made the Minardi look very nimble around that part of the circuit. Obviously, with the experience that Mario has, shouldn't be underestimated. And obviously has been an F1 winner, championship winner already, and obviously is trying to prove that he still has got it, because spent some time in IndyCar and such. Now is back for the big league. And you can see now that Kazuyoshi Hoshino is catching most of the cars in front, but Mario Andretti is doing the same thing, but just at a slightly faster rate. Leo Fabi now in 5th, also doing a quite a wonderful job here for Ferrari at the moment. Harry Boutsen still trying to recover, but yeah, his race is more than over, I think. Now we can see Alain Prost here is having to make his way through the field, and he's coming up behind Stefan Johansson and Al Unser Jr. But Prost and that McLaren just looking very good together, and seems to be somewhat of a perfect match. And with Senna not being here to challenge Prost sure has an easy run to the victory here today. As we see now, it's Johansson trying to move on Unser Jr. But Unser Jr. is thinking about sending it up the inside again, but no, nothing will happen. So Stefan Johansson up into 13th place. And here comes Prost then, trying to get past both of them. And he is gonna go around the outside of Unser Jr. Oh, and a big issue now. A big issue for Roberto Moreno, and it's a bit of a disaster, I think, because he just came past the pit as he's heading to turn 1 with that issue. So I'm not sure if we'll see him able to be, if he's going to be able to make it back to the pits here, Moreno. That would be disastrous if he can't make it back, as he's now only about halfway through the lap, through the hairpin. And he is slowing down, I believe. Yes, this is gonna be a retirement for Roberto Moreno, so out of 3rd position, which could have possibly been his first podium position here today. Moreno is unfortunately gonna have to retire for the Arrows. And that's, well, obviously a big shame to see that one doing such a good job is out of the points now completely. Oh, and there was a big collision between Bernd Schneider and Mario Andretti, I believe. So once again, issues for Andretti. Yeah, so seems like a bit of a collision between Andretti and Schneider, but I'm not sure what actually happened there. They're missing front wings, so both of them have to come in, so 2 collisions here for Mario Andretti, I believe. And he'll have to make another pit stop, so means Andretti once again is gonna be demoted to pretty much the back of the field. Here he goes again into the pits again. Fresh set of tires on, a new wing. And that's 6.1 seconds there, as Schneider has to do the same, of course. And that takes us actually to crew 7 seconds. And meanwhile now, Eddie Cheever, not sure what happened there, but Eddie Cheever is also out of the race. So he might have had a spin as a result of Andretti and Schneider getting together. That could be the case. Prost now looking to get past Emerson, not Emerson Fittipaldi, Thierry Boutsen, that is. Thierry Boutsen lets him through diligently, as we're about halfway through the Grand Prix now. And oh, let's see, there is a fight going on here between René Arnoux and Michael Andretti. They're just outside of the points paying positions. They're fighting for the scraps here. If anyone outside of that top 6 is drops out of the race, then Both of these cars have a good chance of points, which for well, for both of them would be pretty crucial to pick up some points, as there's only a couple of points between, well, anywhere from pretty much 6th in the constructors all the way up to 12th. There's only about 7 points in it, so. Oh no, but now Michael Andretti, as I'm saying that, Michael Andretti has a brake issue. And he will have to come back into the pits. And that now, as Alain Prost comes through there, but that will now promote Stefan Johansson and Al Unser Jr. behind into 8th and 9th. Yeah, Andretti coming into the pits here. Meanwhile, Alain Prost still just extending that lead. As he's now 24 odd seconds in front of Emerson Fittipaldi, but obviously Fittipaldi doing a good job, and it does seem that the Ferrari is not that at home at this track. They're just lacking a bit of pace, but still obviously in that 2nd and 4th position at the moment. So I think if they can make that till the end, then they'll be very glad. Prost now comes up to the back of, I believe, René Arnoux. He will move past him. And then he'll be on his way to start his lap 36 of the race. Meanwhile, Keiji Matsumoto also doing a very decent job here for Minardi in 3rd place. Fabi, like mentioned, in 4th there for Ferrari. Bit of a lockup by Michael Andretti there, going into turn 1. Bernd Schneider now has gotten past Michael Andretti, of course, because Andretti had that issue. Meanwhile now, Teo Fabi. Let's actually compare some of the lap times here. So, yeah, the last laps, most of them are in the 29s, except for Prost, who is actually about even more than a second clear of the rest of the field at the minimum. And you can see there's some outliers there. If you look at well, for one, Kazuyoshi Hoshino, he's lapping in the low 29, so Hoshino actually faster than everyone except for Prost. So he's definitely on a charge back through the field and looking to promote himself up a couple of positions. As we now see some of the times rolling in. Pace between Keiji Matsumoto and Emerson Fittipaldi is very close, less than a tenth in it. And yeah, so Hoshino still lapping 2-3 tenths faster than his opposition in front of him, except for Prost, so he might be able to get inside that top 3 again. Fights hard for it. And obviously, with that second pit stop, he's lost out a load of time. Here's Boutsen. Still has that Zach speed running, so not all is lost, but he's quite a ways behind now. And Michael Andretti obviously here also had to make that extra pit stop. But the person that has lost out the most here today is the Mario Andretti. 2 separate collisions. He's had to come in twice more than most of the field. And is now just trying to put on a recovery drive, but it'll be insanely hard for Mario Andretti to catch up. Back even to the top 10, as now the Williams in front of him are running quite well in 10th and 11th, so decent finishing positions for the Williams squad if they manage to. Obviously, they'd ideally get both of their cars inside the top 10 to get that financial boost at the end of the race, because obviously inside the top 10 you're making a bit more money than you are outside of it. So and I think the Williams squad can really use that, looking at their performances. And another issue for that's René Arnoux going very slowly.
Try and get back.
So Arnoux has to make another pit stop here for a brake issue, and maybe he can get his car fueled up until the end, but it's still 27 laps to go, so I'm not sure if he can actually make this into a full-blown pit stop. Let's see how long this is gonna take for him. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so that actually might be a full-blown pit stop then for René Arnoux. So maybe not all bad, as he might have actually lost not too much time there. So we'll have to see how that plays out once the rest of the field makes their pit stop, but at least he's on a fresh set of tires now, and he can push, although he has to conserve a little bit, of course, because he still has to do 27 laps, so he has to make sure he gets until the end, but maybe he can make a little bit of an undercut here, even with that issue. Meanwhile, still a dominant performance for Alain Prost, rather. as Matsumoto gets past Rene Arnoux there. And now, Alain Prost still just extending that lead. Eiji Matsumoto in third, doing a very good job for Minardi. And Thierry Boutsen still struggling at the back, as he's already 2 laps behind the leaders at this point. See now Mario Andretti as well is just in front of Emerson Fittipaldi. That doesn't mean he's still a lap behind pretty much. Now Bernd Schneider slowly trying to make his way back up, and he might have a shot of still finishing inside the top 10, but oh, and now another issue here for Nelson Piquet. The Piquet with a throttle issue, and he still has some ways to go until the pits. He now heads down the hill, down past 300R and then into Dunlop. He gets passed by Kazuyoshi Hoshino now, and yeah, just losing out a boatload of time here, Nelson Piquet. And he's still inside the points, and I think he will be able to make a full pit stop out of this one with the issue, but he's lost so much time because of it now. I do think Al Unser Jr. is trying to catch up once again, but he's quite far behind. Here comes Piquet now. Into the pits he goes. And then down to the pit box. See how long this pit stop is gonna take for Piquet. So let's see here. Yep, they're definitely fueling up the car. Gonna be an 11-second stop for Piquet. As that's Johansson over there coming through, so yeah, Piquet will have a big task of catching up to Johansson once again. And then obviously Johansson still has to make a pit stop. I believe, at least. Does mean that Johansson is now inside the point, so at least one of the arrows so far might be able to score points here today. And we'll keep an eye on Piquet here throughout the next couple of laps and see what kind of lap times he can pull out. As we see now, Theo Fabi actually getting a call for his last pit stop of the day. So you can surely say the pit window has opened. Prost still not pitting yet, so one of the last cars to pit after the first stint, and it seems like he'll be running a little bit longer as well than for his second stint. And Matsumoto now also getting his pit call. Meanwhile, Johansson doing a very good job, and PK trying to hunt him down, of course. And in the meanwhile, you have the likes of Unser Jr., Andretti, Jeff Leach, Jeff Brabham, all hoping that the cars in front of them will drop out of the race so they can pick up some of the scraps. And now Prost gets the pit call as well. So he'll be coming in at the end of this lap. Shouldn't be any issues for Prost, really. He can, again, just manage this race. There's no need to push. He's half a minute ahead of the nearest competitor, so he has to just get this car till the end.
Pit at the end of this lap.
And meanwhile, Emerson Fittipaldi running a bit longer here, so Teo Fabi has already made his pit stop. And he'll be coming out, should be coming out in front of Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Fittipaldi now coming up to the back of, I think, Michael Andretti. And now Hoshino and Prost both in the pits as well. So let's see now. Stefan Johansson for the moment ahead of Hoshino, but that won't last too long, I don't think. See now what kind of lap times Nelson Piquet is doing. So he's in the low 30s now on that fresh rubber. Pretty much matched Prost for the last lap. Obviously Prost was on old and used tires, while Piquet is on new tires, so quite remarkable. And now Fittipaldi not too far behind Prost, but obviously he still has to make that pit stop, so once he does, he'll drop back quite far. Pick call for both one of the Tyrrell cars and one of the Williamses. Eiji Matsumoto now still running in third for Minardi as Jeff Brabham here running towards the back of the field. Yeah, Keiji Matsumoto doing a very solid job here. Is on course to grab a nice 4 points for Minardi. The way it stands, I think, let's take a look at the points, but I think possibly Minardi is gonna jump Ligier at this rate in the constructor standings. And I think if Matsumoto does get the third position here today, he'll jump up the standings himself quite a bit as well, because he's in 12th right now, but if he gets I believe would be 4 points for that third position, he'll jump right up to the back of Ayrton Senna, so he'll be in 7th place in the driver's standings. That'd be very good. And now Stefan Johansson is getting his last pit call. Question will be for Johansson if he can fight for those point-paying positions, or gonna be too far back with about 17 laps to go here. Right onto the back of Johansson. Will he try something? Oh, a collision there! Collision between Hoshino and Johansson, and that surely will have to be investigated here as Hoshino just outbroke himself into the back of Johansson, and that might be crucial for Arrows should they want to remain in the points. As now Prost comes through as well, so big time loss here for Stefan Johansson. Let's see now comparatively how far Andretti is behind. Yeah, so Andretti is now already coming onto the start-finish straight here with Nelson Piquet behind, so doesn't look like Johansson is going to be fighting for points anytime soon. Does mean now though that Mario Andretti is back inside the points. As Thierry Boutsen lets I believe Emerson Fittipaldi through there. And now a pit call for Michael Andretti. So Michael Andretti will be moving out of the way of Stefan Johansson, but another issue reported here by Thierry Boutsen. So Zach Speed really not running that well, and oh, he can't actually make it back to the pits. I thought he would have been able to, but that's going to be a retirement for Thierry Boutsen, unfortunately. So the Zach Speed guys with one retirement so far, but let's take a look at the debut here for Bernd Schneider, because he's definitely doing a fabulous job for his first drive in F1. And you can see now Mario Andretti actually getting a call for his last pit stop, so that is actually going to be a big thing here because that's gonna promote a couple of people up. And Bernd Schneider just running on his own at the moment, but a very nice job here. Well done today for Schneider, really showing the pace he has in that Zach Speed car. Not the best car on the grid, not by far. And he's made the most of his drive here today. I do think Jerry Boutsen is kind of still rolling around. Let's hope they clear up his car fairly soon here. And then Mario Andretti is now gonna come into pit as we see Nelson Piquet in the background there. So the question will be now, where will Mario Andretti end up after his pits? It'll be a shorter pit because he doesn't have to take as much fuel as his competitors, but obviously the time lost in the pits also counts for a big thing, just rolling through that pit street. So your top 6 at the moment will be Alain Prost, Emerson Fittipaldi, then Keiji Matsumoto, then Teo Fabi. In 5th will be Hoshino, and in 6th will be Piquet so far. Now we see the likes of Bernd Schneider and Stefan Johansson coming past. In the distance we see that Ferrari as well, which might be Emerson Fittipaldi. Now Andretti comes out of the pits and he'll start hunting down Stefan Johansson and Bernd Schneider. I think he'll be too far away from Nelson Piquet to try anything. He'll definitely give it a good go. Jeff Brabham here, still struggling at the back. So the two Jeffs, even though they're usually quite close on track, they're unfortunately always near the rear of the field so far this season. And now Bernd Schneider actually getting his last pit call, so he'll also still have to come in. Oh, and disaster for Mario Andretti, reporting a loose wheel. So all kinds of issues here today for Mario Andretti, and it just isn't meant to be for him here today, as he'll have to try and get to the pits once more. See if he can make it. Going very slow, trying to nurse his car back. Will he be able to? Gonna be close. He's still going. Oh no, he's gonna pull off just before he gets to the pits. Oh no. The pits are right there, but he's not gonna be able to make it, so unfortunately, towards the end of the Grand Prix here, that does mean the minority of Mario Andretti is gonna still retire after 4 pit stops. This was gonna be his 5th compared to the 3 that the other cars have to make. Or 2, sorry. So 3 more pit stops and he was still rearing to fight, but yeah, it just simply wasn't meant to be here for Mario Andretti today. And he'll be out of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Prost there getting past Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Ooh, and Teo Fabi there with a bit of a wiggle. As he's still trying to hold on to this 4th position with Hoshino coming up behind him and Prost as well. Oh, let's take a look at the last lap time. So Fabi doing a 29.9 and Hoshino a 30.1. So they're quite closely matched on pace, but at this rate, Fabi should be able to hold on to that 4th position. And Fittipaldi just managing his Ferrari for now. As, oh, brake issue for Keiji Matsumoto, as I'm trying to find him here. So yeah, issue with the brakes for Keiji Matsumoto. And will he be able to make it back to the pits? That is the question. Still has quite a ways to go, and it might not actually make it because he's only now gonna go through the hairpin. He's only halfway around the track. And reliability really hampering Minardi's progress here today, as he now comes up to Dunlop. Then he goes up to 13th. Through 13th he goes, then up to Nets. See, let's hope he can make it. Going as he goes to the last corner. So yes, he should be able to make it to the pits, I believe. Should be able to pull off to the right here, but that's gonna be another big time loss here for the Minardi boys. Was running really solidly here, Matsumoto in 3rd place. But I think now Teo Fabi will be inheriting that 3rd place, and well, maybe Hoshino will, seeing as he's catching up to Fabi. But both of them will go past Matsumoto. So yeah, very short stop there for Matsumoto, as he's only had to resolve that issue and obviously possibly change the tires. That does mean now Teo Fabi is in a podium position, but Hoshino is hot on his heels here in the last 10 laps. And Keiji Matsumoto still coming out in 5th place, so not all is lost for Minardi. It sure looks like Fabi will have to fight to keep his position here, as Hoshino is looking really fast. Let's see on the straightaway. Hoshino is going to get a good slipstream here. Here he comes. Pulls alongside. He's gonna fully clear him before T1. Let's see now if Fabi has an answer for that. Oh, and a big mistake here from Michael Andretti. Michael Andretti's stuck on a curb. So he'll be out of the Grand Prix. And in the meanwhile, we now have Jeff Brabham as well. Jeff Brabham with an electrical issue. So Jeff Brabham is gonna limp his car to the pits. In the meanwhile, we have Fabi and Hoshino still fighting for that podium position. So Fabi has gotten through again. And is not willing to give up that third place so easily. He's looking to lock out a P3 for Ferrari here, which would be a double podium. And let's see now if Hoshino can put up another attack. I think he is gonna, as he pulls to the inside again on the straightaway. And there we go, Hoshino ahead again, but Fabi is gonna come back at him through turn 1, and he keeps holding on to that P3, oh, as they go side by side, and now Fabi loses out a little bit as they go through Coca-Cola here. And now down to 100R. But Fabi is definitely not done fighting here as he goes around the outside again. Around 100R into the hairpin, and Fabi is ahead. He wants that podium here today. And he's not gonna let Hoshino stand in his way if he can say anything about it. As now they go back up the hill past Dunlop up into 13th. And through the long left-hander of Nets that tightens up towards the end. And then similar corner being Panasonic with a lot of camber on the inside. And down the straightaway they go again. Hoshino once again in that slipstream is gonna try and pull something off here. And he might be actually a bit too far back this time around. Does seem like it, so Fabi's safe for one more lap. Fabi holding on well. Hoshino right on his gearbox. Oh, and Hoshino up the inside on the hairpin. So a surprise move there by Hoshino. And it has paid off here, but Fabi once again on his gearbox as there's reports of, oh, and a big collision there, collision between the two. Fabi holding it together though, but it does mean that Hoshino has been run off the track, so a bit of a mistake on the brakes there for Fabi. Meanwhile, Jeff Lees is gonna drop to the back of the field. Possibly. As Prost comes through once again, but Fabi with that little mistake is now safe for a little bit longer from Hoshino. Oh, and who's gotten off the track there? I think that must have been Jeff Lees, yeah. So Jeff Lees just misjudging his T1 there. And that might hamper Hoshino behind a little bit. As Hoshino is now gonna try and look to get back up to Fabi. As we're coming up to the last couple of laps here, we have 12 cars remaining. So just over half of the grid. And still some cars being plagued by reliability. Obviously, we're not even halfway the season. It's only round 5, so still plenty of time for the teams to get some of those issues resolved. See here if Hoshino can now get past Lise. So he's gonna move up the inside. I think Lise gonna break a bit earlier and just slot him behind as he does. That means Hoshino is once again on the hunt to the rear of Teo Fabi's car. Oh, as Lise now is actually not too keen on giving up that position, and he now fought back with Hoshino. 5 laps to go. Hoshino is rapidly catching up to the back of Fabi once again. So in these last couple of laps here, we're gonna see another big clash between these two. And let's just stay on board here for a moment with Hoshino and see at what rate he can catch up to Fabi. Here comes Hoshino now in the slipstream once again. Here he comes. He's gonna go clean past Fabi as they head into turn 1 again. Will Fabi fight? No, he won't. He is very close though. See if we can now, if we are gonna see another battle here between the two. It does sure seem like it. As Fabi once again around the outside into the hairpin. Fabi back into 3rd, and with 3 laps remaining here, it's gonna be a fight until the end, I believe, for that podium position. It's the Ferrari team versus the customer Ferrari team. And there goes Hoshino, and he makes a mistake on his own now. Hoshino with a mistake on his own, which allows Fabi to come through once again. So that just shows how hard these guys are pushing when they make mistakes like that. Once again, he's right on that gearbox of Fabi, so not too much lost. Here we go again. Doesn't have as much overspeed as before. He's gonna try and keep it, but oh, Fabi now comes back at him on the inside as they go side by side through first corner. And then down to Coca-Cola, and Teo Fabi slots in behind. And Hoshino now holding on, but Fabi right out in the back of him. Here they go again. Down to Dunlop. Fabi not quite close enough. They head through Dunlop up the mountain once again. And now a little bit of separation here for Hoshino, but will it be enough? Let's see. He's managed to make a little bit of a gap here, but will it be enough? I'm not sure. It does look like it. He's pretty far away now, so... yeah, so Hoshino might have been able to create just enough of a gap there to break away from Fabi. Towards the end here, another brake issue for Bernd Schneider, as he'll have to pull off. So that's the second Zach speed, unfortunately pulling off one lap before the end, and Bernd Schneider was doing such a fabulous job inside the top 10 with that Zach speed. But unfortunately, his debut is gonna come to an end. Meanwhile now, we have our leader, Alain Prost, again ultra dominant today, heading on to the last lap. And it's been a pure show of dominance again by Prost and McLaren, as that combo is really working out for them this year, and it will further increase the gap for McLaren, as right now there's only a 1 point difference between McLaren and Ferrari, but this will open up that gap a little bit, and well, for the driver standing, Alain Prost will build up an even bigger gap than he has already. He's now 8 points in front of the closest rival, which is Teo Fabi from Ferrari. And so with this, he'll extend that gap quite significantly, as he now comes through Dunlop for the last time up into 13th. Then to the next corner. Then the last time he's gonna come through Panasonic onto the straightaway, and Alain Prost opens up the throttle, and he is gonna come out victorious on the Mount Fuji Grand Prix. On the Fuji Speedway, Alain Prost gets his victory. And then I think actually Hoshino is gonna come across the line. But he is a lap down to Fittipaldi. So in third will be Hoshino. Then fourth will be Fabi. Fifth will be Keiji Matsumoto. So he managed to come through pretty cleanly. And then Nelson Piquet in sixth. Meanwhile, there comes Emerson Fittipaldi. So he was a lap ahead of third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But he will come in with a second place. So very nicely done by Ferrari. P2 and P4. So I'm sure Machihila will be glad with that result.
Excellent drive, 6 points.
We're now waiting for some of our finishers. So Stefan Johansson, unfortunately, without that issue, he could have possibly finished inside the points, and now finishes just outside. And then comes Al Unser across the finish line with Rene Arnoux behind him. There we go, and that was it. Everyone's come across the line, so exactly half the field finishing here today. And yeah, it's quite an eventful race. A lot of mechanical issues for a lot of the teams. Had some collisions as well. It's all in all not a bad race here for the Fuji Speedway, the replacement for the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the full results. So in first, Alain Prost with an absolutely dominant performance. Then Emerson Fittipaldi managing his race in second place. Third for Ligier, the customer Ferrari team, will be Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Then Fabi, the second Ferrari, in fourth place. So really well done by Ferrari here today. Then Keiji Matsumoto in fifth with a late issue. Nelson Piquet in sixth for Benetton. So a point picked up for the Benetton squad. And then Stefan Johansson just outside of the points for the Arrows. Al Unser Jr. for the Tyrrell doing a good job up in 8th place. Rene Arnoux the second, Benetton in 9th. Both of the Williams in 10th and 11th respectively, being Jeff Lees and Jeff Brabham. Bernd Schneider, the German rookie, unfortunately having to finish his debut a bit early, but definitely showed some good pace. Michael Andretti, the second Tyrrell, in 13th. Mario Andretti in 14th for Minardi. 15th will be Thierry Boutsen for Zach Speed. 16th, Eddie Cheever for the March. Roberto Moreno, unfortunately, with reliability issues again, and will be finishing in 17th. The other rookie, Johnny Herbert, unfortunately didn't have too long in the race and retired with an engine issue. Then Capelli for McLaren with a loose wheel, and then 3 DNFs at the back here, 20th, 21st, 22nd being Senna, Nakajima, and Häkkinen. So yeah, once again, a very eventful race. Prost will extend his lead for both McLaren and the driver standings. And then next time, it should be another spectacular race as we head to Detroit for a street circuit race. I'm very excited for that one. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.